Right. Good evening, me people. Then, when I welcome again to a sort of beautiful Saturday evening, 10 p.m. UK time here, and I'm sure it's 5 p.m. New York time, and Nigeria is about 4 p.m. there. You know, in other countries, perhaps they might be sleeping right now. So now welcome to another edition. Again, apologies. No, no, is Doctor Jason. Sometimes easy, but last week, apologies. Of course, always at the sort of give una even if you're not there, they make sure say something educative there online. So I hope so I enjoy them last week. And but again, Donald Cabo, I thank you for joining in, and for those of you who are my friends, my students, because I've been telling my students about this program. I told you in class that definitely this program will be in Creole and English. So it's an opportunity to learn English, Creole. Okay. So the people don't appreciate this program are focusing on, of course, Sierra Leone. Of course, sometimes we touch other issues, but we just find out say is also beautiful. We speak your language and be proud of them. So once in a while we interject English because we got other people then we one sort of Nigerian language, yeah. So now welcome, and what I want to do, as usual, is that I just want to share this video to with friends and family. We will bless somebody else with the listen, and maybe a young person or a business where they out there or a policy maker. Because about us tonight is very vital. Trust me, it's something that the continent or the whole world serve the whole two hand, if not five hand. And of course, we have continents, which is Africa and Sierra Leone specifically, they sort of catch up right now, and we need to catch up. We need to catch up fast because the world is moving at a very fast pace. So we have to ensure that we catch up, and for that to happen, we have to have discussions like this. So our topic will be on technology, the role of technology in job creation, and the role of technology in job creation. But like I said, please share. I'm Mr. The share because they say you got to sort of stick to what you preach. Tonight, I get a friend, a brother, and we really good. Somebody we had all studied for a long time. He's a very intelligent guy, and I'm sure you will learn from him. The topic we will discuss tonight. Now, Sierra Leone itself, we come to jobs. We don't get much jobs, and this is a problem with not just Sierra Leone, but the problem with many countries, especially developing countries. And unemployment is an issue. It's a canker worm. Let's put it that way. Unemployment now, one of the reasons, in fact, we read back about the rebel war, and one of the things that underway lost the rebel war because youth tend not to get job. And as a result, those will get money, they just can't give them $100, $200, or maybe give them drugs, and later they go, if somebody get a job in the Jew and is satisfied on those jobs, so basically what's going to happen if you get a job and you're satisfied with those jobs, what's going to happen is go involve yourself in it. So job creation, we need to create jobs, and for a while now the formula they only use is that people they go to school and with the first we say for going to school, yeah, which is not bad, get this degree, and later we sort of one where coat and tie, and this formula has not worked. Why? Because we depend so much on government jobs, we depend so much on the ski jobs and like banks that were around. But in Sierra Leone, for instance, how many banks will we get? We get like, I'm not sure, we get up to 15 banks in Sierra Leone, if I don't miss the count. Now, how many of those institutions will employ the sort of graduates then? In December, I'm not sure in December or January or February, when they get a whole set of graduates then when they come. So job on unemployment is an issue in our country. So how we go create these jobs then? There are many ways where other countries that don't try, where we feel say no need for invent the wheel. We just have to sort of benchmark with the other people that do, like Singapore. Not even go far, like even Ghana. Ghana is not okay. I'm not standing not too good. Or let's say Kigami of Rwanda, who everybody talk about. How we do it is not magic. No, it's not a magic, but of course there's a recipe. Where we go sort of. So today we'll be looking at one component with a head for create jobs, and that's technology. So we'll be looking at the role of technology in job creation. And for help me discuss this matter, because me not a technology expert, I am an entrepreneur. You are any type of business, I would tell you, but technology sabi small, but not really sabi much. We got an expert in the room, and this is what this program is all about: bringing the people the best of the best for can discuss issues that we concern with continents and society. Like I said, this brother is a brother I've known for long, and without further ado, I want to welcome officially to the Victor's Business Show on VOS versus Salone, my brother, my friend, colleague, Mr. Perhaps call him Professor David Mick Ja. Welcome to the Victor's Business Show on VOS, sir.
Doctor, thanks for having me, and I appreciate it a lot. At least I'm not a professor, so normal.
I don't need the title now. I don't need the title.
Yeah, normally I can just I prefer for take who say you did because at the bedside and for being an entrepreneur. I think that's very good. Yes, but I'm glad you for there, and also I tell family that thank you and the support. You are doing a great job, and we are very proud of what you are doing, and we aspire to the good things and we do around, even in the country, in Sierra Leone. So we appreciate you a lot, and thank you very much.
Well, thank you, brother. It's always good. I take the compliments. Some people don't know you take compliments, but me, I take her. Thank you very much for that. But of course, thanks to the whole team, that teamwork. But Mr. Ja, let's go to business proper. Who is David Mick Ja? Because everybody, some man even sabi you. Some man the first time they see you, me sabi you. So, but me no want to be the person for describe you. You describe yourself because you're there. So, who is David Mick Ja?
Well, it's a very difficult question most times because but generally, me not an entrepreneur, so I mean I do my school in Abo and Bobo school, and from Bobo school go Gambia, and then do my professional course with the Institute of Commercial Management in England, and so I choose a part of entrepreneurship and start very early off in the mining sector, and then move into agriculture, and then from agriculture into telecommunications, and then from telecommunications into technology. And so it has been a transition, I can say, since 2001. So I clock something around 18 years now in which I do. And primarily because a lot of people don't know me is because are they in a lot of research mood most times are they in research mood and try to solve much bigger problems. So now that, but as it is right now, we as a company and me as an entrepreneur, we try to take on the continent, which is a very huge task, but within technology, and that's what we try to do for solve problems, especially for create jobs across the continent, because it's a time bomb, and it's a very, very serious. We get about 700 million extremely poor people in Africa out of 1.3 billion. in population. So, like for instance, Nigeria alone get about 96 million. You know, imagine 96 million poor people they run down inside West Africa alone. 10 million goes to alone. They don't overstretch the entire structure and system and everything. And so you don't really have to wait until these countries and get problems. Because, for instance, you're talking about Nigeria, anything happen, you get 96 million extremely poor people. If 10 million, 20 million refugees then run into Ghana, they don't overstretch the entire structure in Ghana.
Yeah.
10 million go to SALONE, they don't overstretch the entire. So even if they share by 10 million, 10 African countries, 10 West African countries not able to take each of them.
Yeah.
So you have to create jobs for keep not just the people in lives, but also peace, which is very important.
Yeah.
So now that make we veer into technology.
Right. But Mr. Ja, I understand that. And of course, what you do is huge, and we'll talk more about that. But again, from what I know, you're not only you for technology. Of course, you are you will pursue a different field of study. So my own sort of question is really, which is bringing inside technology, how you switch. And because the truth of the matter is, we all sort of start in a specific field, and most people just stick to that field, whether they like it or not like it. So which actually attract you to technology?
Okay, so two things. One, initially, I would do very well as a commercial student. I want to be an accounting professor. Just relax now in university, and enjoy myself and focus on academia. But I begin for going to business because I get this desire for solve problems, very huge problems, like poverty. And so one of the things that we at the beginning we are trying to do was if we use resources, what we get, like for instance, we get a lot of minerals. So if we leverage and use then resources and we were able to bring them back and build communities. So my move really initially in terms of career development, after where I forget about becoming an accounting professor, I just decided to do business and then use the resources for build communities. And so during the process of doing that, and then I go into telecommunications and acquire some hardware technology. So, but technology itself, Nati way, he always don't excite me because me and elder brother really did into technology. So the first contact with technology was like 20 years ago. So it didn't answer, so I write a letter. In fact, I didn't call, somebody pick and say, who do I want to talk to? I said, I want to talk to my brother and answer.
Well, what are your brother? Whose brother this you talk about?
Dr. Moribaja.
Okay.
Yeah, so later on, email me and say, yes, make we discuss, but I didn't answer. And right now, I send a rover to Mars. So I go first at the internet. In those days, in Gambia, we don't get internet already. By 99, 2000, 2001 in Gambia, we don't get internet already. So I begin search. What do you mean by the same rover and Mars? So I begin search. It was really something we are unable to imagine. So but that time, I begin build interest. So I virtually read deeply into some of the work we didn't do, and so now that brings me into technology. So once I go into telecom and try to acquire some of this hardware, so he tell me, say, look, some of these things we try to do, some of them I don't do them, and so I'll be able to guide you. So make her know what you do. So when you develop something, if you develop an idea, send it to me, make her the monitor and see what you do. So I accept, and since then, you don't guide me. So so through that process, it's almost like 20 years now. So I got deep knowledge, very deep knowledge in technology. But I try to take me time for domestication in Africa, because it's a very huge gap between what then they do and how you domesticate. So obviously, the whole thing comes from very formalized, where it get even desire for move out and spread some of the things that we don't develop. So you decide for work with me for level for bring real technology across the continent of Africa. Right. So it's not really, they do this as a pro bono basis, but just guidance and try for him for directly. And
Okay, so that's fine. Thank you for because it was sort of a question we will help somebody there that we want to switch. So tie down into one particular discipline. You could change anytime we wait for change. So thank you for that, for shedding some light on so exactly what you make you change course. Of course, because you have a clear mentorship and somebody will just say, let's do this. Now you are the executive president of CADAP, which is not the company where you represent as far as this program is concerned, and of course, what you do. Now, tell me a little about what CADAP is all about. What do your company do, and how we could benefit from them?
So, CADAP itself is currently operating as a technology company, but we try for bring a very new concept into doing business in Africa. Africa now we primary target, and the concept is you don't need to be a resident company. More especially because we get the affiliation and the potential for operate at the top of the food chain in technology. And so the first thing is we try for collaborate as much as possible across the continent with local companies. And so we, as a technology company, they try for focus on research and development of technology. But as it is right now, it's a concept very difficult for a lot of local companies to accept, because then they look at you and they think, because of you don't come out, get a very big name from Silicon Valley. So, but we really operate at the top of the food chain in technology. So what we try for do is we try for work with local companies for transfer technology to local companies. And so we basic operation they are around product development, customer acquisition, and technical partnership. And so where we can a country, we try for build a partnership, with technical companies who operate in technology, and then two, we try for able to get management companies we will do with customer acquisition because understand the terrain, not really because they understand the terrain, we get technology we able for tell you exactly what's in there happen, but we want to be light enough. So we been mainly focus on the development of technology and transfer of technology. So really on the product management side of the entire structure of the company.
Okay, Mr. Jar, sorry for cutting you off, but I want to really break this down because for some of the family when they watch this program, we just say, what is technology? What is not product development? What is not customer acquisition? These are all big terms that some people know even. So the essence of this program is really to ensure that everybody else comes to the program and learn. Now, let's break down the technology aspect itself. Now, you talk about technology. I know, say, in a layman's view, what is not technology and what is not this technology in a way when they provide specifically, and how the layman go where they run business, for instance, a market, or maybe the layman will get a little shop, or somebody will get small business. How do they specifically sort of use this on our products them? So give specific example. What is this technology we talk about? And how you do, for instance, help them to develop products. Say, if they sell ogiri, for instance, or they sell cassava leaf, or maybe how does this product really? Why should I care?
You sell granite by cup, for instance.
Yes, or sell granite by cup, exactly. Why should I care?
Yeah, so technology itself now, where you use scientific research and develop a product, maybe a hardware or software, and able to use that for solve critical problems. So I'll give you an example. So in those days when we did into mining, so for instance, I do marketing communications. So if I write you, say, Dr. Alfred, I want to make you can invest into a particular mining sector in Sierra Leone. The law in Sierra Leone talks for good at the mining site if you're still in Africa. So how you able to give me your money and be sure say when we go na Sinkonia or Badala na Konadugu district, I go able to bring you products to you where one day may you just see. So that's a physical challenge for your movement with me to the location who side the product be. But also it get a financial risk where you go transfer the money to me. And the person also where they do the activity and the village, they not have a feature, they don't want the kind of feature.
Yeah.
So normally the normal process is you go through a bank. Let's say in those days we get commercial bank. And then from Bukere Commercial Bank, you go through the community banks. And then the community banks then give you cash, maybe in a Kabalaton. You claim a bicycle, we call it Okada, and then go another 90 miles into Diang Chiefdom. You know, these are semi-autonomous areas and police not really, nobody not really. So that risk is reduced when you do a research and say, how are we going to break this barrier? If you do a research, you connect all things by technology now. The man first of all forget a network, USA ID, now a Synchronia or Diang Chiefdom. Then he get a phone in hand. That phone day, now they will now snap the product the way he gets. For instance, load on our WhatsApp, it show me, they are telling and say, okay, you get a mobile bank account. I get a mobile bank account with Airtel. So you can walk to the nearest Airtel place, you know, and then if I get a courier company, they give the courier company the product, and then you pay and through mobile money, and then the courier company bring. So you don't find out, say, the mobile phone don't able first of all create some amount of transparency, create movement of product, the possibility of movement of product and movement of payment money for the product. And so that does solve a critical problem in our trust and transparency within the business. And so deep down, you get far advanced technologies and way you can use for able for also do that. So that's why, I mean, very important for let technology come, because one of the things the way technology will do is it creates some amount of confidence within the day-to-day activity of people. In those days, like for instance, in those days, if I call in England, you know, we'll see me. But today, if I call in England, I mean, yeah, you the talk right now, you see me.
Yeah,
so there's
yeah.
amount of
David, I want to pause you there a bit because somebody would watch and they say these are all very good ideas, but there are a lot of challenges. We get a continent or maybe a country where a lot of people not even get smartphone. We get a continent whereby even if you get smartphone, a country, Sierra Leone, for instance, connectivity is a big issue. We get a continent or a country disposable income, if any, if somebody gets sort of disposable income, is very minimal. We get a continent or a country where everything's centralized, now Freetown. You know, and how you go over it, because this is challenges. Then we also get a country where, for instance, people do not adopt. I mean, apart from social media, because everybody's on social media now, you know, like they using them to post their pictures and maybe where they cook cassava leaf, putsade, you know, I see all these things, by the way, and which is not bad because social media itself is by the word social. We're here to socialize, but of course, you get your down parts. But again, we get a country with all these challenges where people do not even understand these concepts, and businesses that a lot of small businesses that we need this sort of technology, but there are challenges like, you know, can they afford it, you know, affordability. There are challenges like even the culture of trust, even on technology, not they. Now, you've been operating, I don't know how long it is you've been operating in those countries, because of course you're in Nigeria right now, you're providing solutions in Nigeria, and I'm sure you don't attempt one or two in Sierra Leone. Now, how do they overcome these challenges then? These are real challenges then. And I understand some people that even talk on, let's take GSI for instance, where they bring in a lot of, you know, blockchain ideas, you know, cloud computing, Internet of Things, all these big words where me you go perhaps understand, but people that say, you know, that should not be a priority. In fact, there was a video I watched where Dr. David, which is of course Naitoma, Dr. David be then a forum where I think some of the panelists that they tell us, say, look, this should not be your focus now, because I mean you get all that things that focus away. They actually defend them firstly. The real challenges that we should not overlook. You know, I'm really interested in how do they overcome these challenges then, because they're very real. I'm very interested to know, sir.
Okay, so the first thing what happened was I've been there for SALONE for 5 years,
Right.
between 2013 to 2018 for research for answer exactly the questions that we answer, because you see the issue about technology is first affordability and accessibility.
Yeah.
The entire continent of Africa, according to the AFD, the African Development Bank, you get about 5% of the population they earn $20 a day. You get about 10% of the population they earn between $10 to $15 a day. You get another, I think, 5. All where they earn above $4 a day is about 40% of the population. The entire 60% they earn less than $1 a day. So the question is, how do you bring technology where go able to solve the layman in problem? Not at $1 a day, but almost 1/7 of $1, because you know why? The man get for eat, he get for take care of his health, he get for pay picking school fees, maybe he get for pay transport and some other things. And so if you divide the basic needs and housing, shelter, and anything, you find out say the man go only able for dispose maybe 1/7 of $1 a day. So in the context in Australian, you talk say 1,000 euros every day. Yeah, out of 10, I don't know, 9,000 or whatever.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. And so those are the questions. I sit down for 5 years for answer that question. I sit down one place and they do research for 5 years for answer that question. Then I want. 2, how do we ensure that the man get accessibility? How is he able to access this technology?
Yeah.
So we also answer that question. And then the next one is upgraded infrastructure. Now the man don't get access able for pay. How you able to expand the man in scope so that he will able to get involved in so many things and enlarge in revenue streams. And so we also don't answer that question. And then the next one is ecosystem, the global ecosystem. Waiting at the affiliations and waiting at the collaborations and waiting at the partnerships and where you get, we will able to expand and also sustain what you provide. So those 3 questions, we also don't answer the questions indeed.
Yeah. And I'm very eager to know the solution so that we will not profile. So those questions, that's exactly, because these are real issues and people are debating.
Yes. So what I want to do is, because most of these are trade secrets, so I'm not going to say all things on.
Well, the one we will let out for the purpose of this program, let out back.
I'll give a general view. So when we do all of this, we conclude, say, the first thing you have to do is you have to connect everybody on the continent.
Yeah.
You have to ensure that everybody on the continent is connected to internet. I mean, that's not the first step. Not the first step down. Any country will not able to connect in population, forget it. The whole thing will just be, a good story, but the real deal is ensuring that everybody is connected. And so the next thing is, how do you connect people? So generally, if you advise the government, for instance, say, you need to connect people. Government need for ensure connectivity works with power. In fact, with military knowledge in telecommunications, the more power, the further the transmission, the radio frequency they go. So for instance,
energy.
A mast, they spend about $10,000 a month for push maybe 2 kilometers or 80 kilometers of. For now, you use air fiber hardware, maybe 100 kilometers, and so that's $10,000. If you multiply the amount of mass the way they're around, I mean, you begin to wonder how the telecommunication company will make money. So what we do was we able for create partnerships, and we don't create technology. We in kind of reverse engineering, they allow you for provide internet at 0 operating costs.
Really? So
But
like
also, but
zero operating
also
cost to the user or the person with the
zero operating
customizer?
cost to the infrastructure person, zero
Right.
operating cost to the infrastructure person, but
Right.
also reach and extend connectivity. Also, the other one. The next thing we will
So it
do
means
is
sorry for cutting you, because I really want to me not carry the audience together. We're not, not everybody complex as you. So let's break it down. Let's make complex simple, not simple
to
complex.
make
So
an
now,
example. To make
so
an
it means say if a day Bangbato,
yes.
I can able connect using some of those services with or without internet connection.
No, well, you can be able to use with service with or without internet connection because then at the other side of it, we actually do operate. They call them omni channel. So an omni
Right.
channel now we they operate both online and offline.
Right.
Not only they use USSD code, but at the time you say you do, for instance, I go buy motor from China offline,
Okay.
and then when the transaction person where I do the transaction would move online, the entire transaction will be processed, and then I get my Motokana Gongwato from China. So we also get technology. We don't bridge that gap. We we also get the capacity for bring connectivity, side connectivity, no day at zero operating cost. When we say zero operating costs to the operator, so for instance, if you want to bring internet from Freetown to Bambatu, you either get for lay fiber. Like what you do, you do forget what I use for bring what I use.
You go get pipe.
For bring what I begin dig the pipe my valley take and I use.
Yes.
So if you want the internet, either you dig that way, they take over it, or you begin build mask them at a particular distance and they repeat the signals, or you build data centers and mini substations and we were able for they also give that service, and so it involve a lot of costs, very huge costs on the telecommunication companies. And so what we design is we design a system where we partners and design a system where you're able for ensure say you receive connectivity between, for instance, Freetown to Mashaka. I think it's about maybe I think is it 90 miles or
I can't remember vividly, but yes, boys, it's quite some distance.
exactly. So up to 100 kilometers, from the base station. I mean, we can able for connect and the person go operate at zero operating cost. That is, you don't need a mast. You need with micro server, and the micro server they operate with solar panel, and also it charge using radio waves. So it charge using radio waves and solar panel. So you don't need a generator. And the capacity of data where it'll bring at least 10 gig. The entire Australian right now they use 10 gig.
Wow. That's good to know. But again, very sad to hear.
I talk about 10 Gbps.
Right.
Yeah. So each one of them micro server they will go up to that capacity. And so it will operate now too. It now will use power. It use radio waves and solar. You get the battery also will last very long. And then it will bring a capacity with the entire Australian use inside them. But also we also get an affiliation also where in case let's say it use a radio from Bo for reach Bamatu, and that radio they get problem. So we also get a satellite partner where they give you direct from satellite, also using global API, so application interface system where that micro server they use. So it get direct also from satellite. So it means it get from satellite, it get from radio and fiber.
Right.
But it get like five main ways for get connectivity. So
okay, let just remind me. Sorry, Mr. Jaya, for cut you off, but I just remind we family them or weddings them. This is not a program where they sort of talk about the role of technology, how technology they have for create jobs, especially in Sierra Leone. And so, if you get any suggestions or questions, the lines are open. At every given point in time, you can call and give suggestions. If you get questions, just type up, or you literally have to call in, because technology has been for the past 1 year now, and of course we've been hearing about technology, and some man say that should not be a priority. Of course, people like you will say no, we should refocus. That should really be the priority. But the problem is, again, the genuine thing is people that the fee say there are other issues that we want to focus on. But technology again is one. But you just say definitely it's not really that technology is bad, but just that we need to, is how technology is being introduced, because people need to think about affordability and so on and so forth. So I just want to carry on with the same conversation. I know how not to overcome these challenges then, and it's good to know already from you from the little way to share that when they provide technology to the most remote village in a salon, if given the opportunity to deliver that service at a zero cost to the infrastructure holder, basically. That's what you were saying. So it means also that the capacity, and in fact, one thing I like about the technology we talk about once introduced is that you don't need generator, because that's another problem. You need energy for power those things. Then you are using the sun instead, solar energy for power,
Yeah.
so somebody can connect using assistance. Okay, so I just want to let you wrap up on that issue quick, because we get a lot for discourse and we're already I enjoy the program so much, but just wrap up that side, and so we can jump to other very important questions.
Yeah, so let's say, for instance, the government of Australia want to deploy such technology. It will need a lot of funding. It will need funding. So let's say, I mean, it will need two types of funding. One, you will need innovative funds, where generally you talk about private capital, you talk about grants, and government people they always give them grants, and then also you were able to do which we really do now. We now funding. Innovative models. And so one of the things and way you're able to do with that is white space technology. So we didn't say white space technology. Say, for instance, televisions, they do a lot of white space technology where they advertising, they fund them, and then the air, their programs, and but advertisers, they pay to them. So for instance, you get companies like Facebook, Google and some others where can come in and say, okay, because you get this technology where they connect everybody, we they fund them so that Facebook would be now everybody at everybody in disposal. Everybody going for access Facebook. So because of that, we fund this kind of technology. So you get that. In fact, that now really the move the penetration of internet today. But the first thing is for you for create job right now in Africa, you need connectivity. If you don't connect people, you cannot create jobs. That's just the truth. And so that at the base, then at the bottom line. So those two, if government want to do either then able for do grants or government fund. Government fund generally in those days, like the Europeans and the Americans, they use insurance money, and they use then schemes, like for instance the health insurance scheme and anything. So those are free money people they contribute like NASITs every year. So you use them for building infrastructure, but very costly. So now you can use white space. We are innovating funding very innovative ways for you for bring the technology to people. Okay. For instance, going to contract.
That's fine. Now talking about innovation, and it's good to know that an African brother like you, we are a Sierra Leone born, gets all these sort of huge opportunities we go bring to a country, and we'll get to that later. But now let's assume, say, because we get a lot of challenges in our country. Example, for instance, you want to register your business, or maybe you have to travel to maybe a city, let's say Freetown. And maybe I don't know if the headquarters I get, then let's say you want to open a business in Kenema, of course, they may have their quarter. At Dana Village, I open a business. We need a technology whereby, like in this part of the world, you get a technology, you just go online, you everything there online, because the technology you do not like village day, you sort of log in and register. That's one problem we'll go address. Now, first question is, do you have the technology to do that? Another one is could be the money transfer thing we'll talk about. Now, currently, largely people that they use Airtel money, and I think is a Orange money, and I think they got free money and for transact. But even as that, not everybody able to do that, because also sort of Airtel get cash. Now, would you have a technology where we will make sure, say, seamlessly people within our villages? Because the reason why we can say villages, it looks like everything we do, all this technology with the breakout, we just stop now Freetown, as if Freetown is Sierra Leone, and that's why it is deliberately they go with you to villages, because for we survive or not survive, for we progress as a nation, we're not just going to focus on Freetown. Yes, of course, the capital city, we have to make it attractive because that's the first thing people see. But how do we meet the layman, the momo, the foodie, in a village where they drink palm oil, you want transfer money, or maybe there Freetown, one transfer money quick to somebody where village. Do you have the technology to provide that? Would you have the technology, for instance, somebody, for medical situations, somebody for diagnose, so book an appointment with the doctor, or maybe, different things and just services that way people that need even our basic service in this country. Now, if the government say, David, you are a Sierra Leonean, like you have this infrastructure, and these are our challenges. Is there a technology to solve this problem at zero cost to the infrastructure that you can provide?
Make I answer that directly as how you asked the question. First of all, the technologies that we will develop over the years now basically for serve any space. And with the reason why we focus on the rural areas is because the urban migration. The rural-urban migration is very serious. It's a time bomb in most African cities, and also it don't overstretch the current infrastructure in cities. And so, if people are able to get certain services, then they go able for that will limit the migration as well. Of course, the urban migration once it happen, and also lead to the cross continental migration, because when you don't know that the city, you don't get value, you can't go back. And then you don't get nothing, and then you begin so a lot jump the water, make us see something will happen in Europe. So those are some of the factors. So, but if people can stay, and so the advantage you get in Sierra Leone is we're really not too overpopulated. So I think if you divide 72,000 square kilometers by 7 million people, or let's even say 8 million people, at least one man get up to 1 kilometer square. If you able for do garden, they will go feed them throughout the year. So you see, so we get a lot of we country is about 40% arable land. So we get a lot of opportunities for able for intervene now. Then we wait till world population only 15 million, 20 million, then everything just will become more serious. So we get technology where they go right to the villages and solve the problems in the villages, and able for ensure say the man get the same service where the person where in the city gets. In all aspects. So, for instance, you talk about somebody in a village.
I think we get a caller. We get a caller on the line. Caller, good evening. Welcome to the Victor's Business Show on VOS. Good evening. What's your name and where you call from?
This is Ibrahim Sise from California.
Mr. Ibrahim, thank you for calling, and we appreciate your time, and of course we value your time. Thank you. And what's not your question or contribution?
I want to tell the young man, Mr. Ja, plenty thank you. And I also want to tell you plenty cabo, because I don't follow your program, and I want to encourage all Sierra Leoneans for follow and be part of this program, because this is very important, a pivotal now with economy and how will it drive, change all the sectors in Sierra Leone. Because today, when you talk about development, you don't go anywhere if you don't get technology as part of your program and planning. Because now so will it drive development. Mr. Ja, it's just sad, that with all the obstacles and the challenges that we'll get in our country, people like Kuna get some kind of idea, but in terms of delivering it, because the infrastructure not there, it make even more difficult for let people appreciate, which you learn and which you share with people. And also, I want to talk about the education. Even as within the West, I don't know where you did because I just come on. I don't know where you reside.
It call from Nigeria, actually.
Oh, Nigeria. Yes. Okay.
Yes,
well,
from Nigeria.
We'll go talk because I get a team in Nigeria where I work with. Anyways.
Wow. Okay.
Are they I mean, I'm not too skilled when it comes to technology, but I get deep interest in technology. Okay. Yeah, I get um, me then at the software side. I mean, like digital advertiser, and
Right.
now thing we I really get interest in. I get passion for it. So
Right.
this now a very important thing. We even the government, like yesterday, I tried for like talk a little bit about the government. I saw that they bring this, but like
No,
Dr. Schengen, I believe say the government or the president for don't keep Dr. Schengen usai ide because technology, digital technology now a new thing as Sierra Leone. So if God bless me with somebody, we get that exposure there and that experience there. I believe say the government for don't keep that person there, let they improve, that area there, given the significance of that area there in every sector of our life, for let it go establish and ground and well, it train people them where if in at some point it move go on the other side, then we get people them. We don't get the know-how, we don't get the knowledge for able manager, and make sure say them promote development now all the areas them as I mentioned.
Yeah.
But now that time be problem. To me, I feel say now one kind way they way unknowingly governments then they destroy some of the infrastructure them in institutions in our countries and especially Africa. Because if somebody gets a talent like are you there so government for encourage you for make sure say you then at this side where you don't trade, you don't spend all your time for, you don't get that experience say, for let you go able to have an impact with that experience with the breaker. And then I believe say if government able to understand them that the human capital of somebody, based on waiting the person sabi, it will impact the community and the society. The government therefore make sure say them provide that enabling environment say for make that person they able to use as much as possible in talent, for capacitate that person they and help them for build that industry there. Because make no mistake, technology now the biggest market right now when we talk about global investing, and global investment,
Yeah.
So if we get people like Kuna, where they come with them kind of ideas there, we don't go land, don't get any kind of experience there. They try for domesticate them, and I believe say we for embrace people like Kuna. Now una na the heroes then we get for look to for the future. Because now they the country, now they the world they go today. So Sierra Leone for be a part of that. One be competitive now the digital labor market.
Sure.
And let just if time permits, let just look at one or two areas them, Dr. Bette.
Yeah, go ahead, sir. Go ahead. All ears.
Okay. Yeah. Like Mr. Ja, mention some areas them way now the obstacles, and then also how we go able or ain't go able or government or whoever they come in for able promoting kind of ideas there. Because at the end of the day, now for there we see the benefits, the significance of this, how much it will improve people and lives and well-being, and also it will develop with communities at large. Like mobilization of goods and services, because that na the premise, where technology they drive. Because if technology not able to do that here, then it's useless. But because then they are important to we life, how we they able mobilize goods, how they able move transportation from one place to the other, how that local farmer go able to take in goods in produce, able bring come at the nearest markets. And even before it can go to the market, you don't know exactly, you don't get a customer, you don't know how much this thing cost, you don't get all that information there. What it cause, what not it produce? It produce effectiveness, and efficiency in service delivery. So that is very important, and by so doing, we broaden that sector there, like agriculture, for example, because once the person feels it gets a return on investment in an equitable share of the market, that person they will able to put more, resources at the end of the day because it is see the return. So this now one part the results them, this now one part the benefits them. And education will be another obstacle, much as technology they provided it. But when we look at the level of education in our country, I believe say how you look at with your technological mind. I mean you look at as a brother, and I glad the way doctor they say lay the book out for we so that we will begin to look at how the layman self within the remote place will able benefits. But we see say education will be one of the obstacles, and also the culture. Now culture. With people them how what's the culture of acceptability in terms of technology, and how we gonna make like the equipment them, reaching people that like mobile phone, the equipment them, and then with devices them, how then go able use because now in here for be like now the conduit. If you don't get the device, how you go technology will work? You see, so we get for remember about that also. And the access and the penetration, then that they cannot into transportation because some areas then they're so remote, much cannot able go there, and people are not able to come now the closest market, for make sure they exchange in the goods and services. And Doctor Better asked one question where he say 1.3 billion can like say money exchange, So I think I believe say the only thing we will address the area of like money transfer. Sometimes we get for incorporating we call the digital currency, when the crypto and the blockchain.
Yeah, cryptocurrency. Yeah.
You see. So then, Sierra Leone, then the question becomes, do we have the infrastructure? Do we have the manpower, the capacity? Because we need people who are actually able to deliver this.
Yeah. So before you go, you're sharing that, because I don't really want to get lost. I'm so
okay. So thank you so much, Doctor. Thank you so much for the audience.
So much. No. I want to stay online because I just want to ask you a question regarding the challenges.
Okay.
You didn't want to answer, sir?
Okay, sure. Go ahead.
Okay, yes. Yeah, so in terms of, of course, you don't embrace the fact say technology is good. I mean, we all agree on that. So nobody will really doubt that. But there are challenges like things like education. I'm sure Mr. Jag will touch on that later after you. But I just want to answer this question before you go. Like, you don't talk about education, cultural acceptance. So this is all about education. So you feel say the introduction of some of this technology, the way with the brain, should go alongside education, or education maybe we educate people the first before we even bring them, because this is a whole cultural shift, because we're not used to technology, right? Even when it's good, this is like a foreign, let's put it that way, because of course technology was actually exported into our country, which is a good thing. But you feel say we need for education people the first before we introduce them, or should we introduce and then educate? Which approach you feel say would be the best?
Well, we can do it concurrently, because the best way for learn as far as technology concerned, you get a theory, but it all boils down to the practical. If you get a cell phone, then talk, then do all kind, theory, then you're not going to be able to see the impact until you able to use that cell phone for do what the cell phone able to do. You see, now that makes the small picking today. I mean, we know say every generation they come with their own intelligence. Look at them 3-year-old picking today, they play with cell phone. We really are the crossroad right now from old school, it's difficult for them to play with her, but it's not picking to play with her. Now because they get access to her. So I believe for them to have to work together, let the people that we will feel free and all exposed because of the limited knowledge of the education. Let we challenge them, or let them challenge themselves. Say, okay, we're able to do this by mistake, then after they learn. So if you push them to think they go together, education, even with the advent of online, the Facebook, Google, they don't get time for educate people then, because remember I say again, you want have that a little bit of monopoly, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so that make them big then conglomerate it's in the camp and they just push something now the market. So then you know they in operation now they do at the background at the back end, you know.
Mm.
But so when I reach the market they know say okay with this now we target at least we go able to push this to the public, then after they push on the public like where you get them PPO. But anyway, now that I feel sorry for do. Let all things go together. The education and also the technology, you know, because
I think it makes sense.
Education and technology, because they're two things there, then they work hand in hand.
Yeah, I think it makes sense. Your discourse, so I will allow, but thank you very much again for calling. Because Mr. Ja gets a program. I wish we just have like a 3-panel discussion. We say good day, but definitely perhaps drop your number.
Exactly,
I don't know how to connect you.
I'm available like anytime when you want to reach me. I mean, I think we're getting interesting, and with the land. You know?
Okay, I want you to take this email address. Maybe you just drop an email and we can take the conversation further. I will drop one at a timeline there. I will drop it on there so you will see them. Because maybe you don't get time. But thank you very much.
Okay, Mr. Ja, thank you so very much for share your knowledge with me, and I really appreciate them. And I hope say a lot of other Sierra Leoneans we don't get time for joining me today. Go appreciate so much, and next time you go get a bigger audience. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Yeah, appreciate it. Thank you for the call. Yeah, Mr. Ja, I want to touch on most of the things that we call the touch on things like the mobilization of goods and services, and things like even the sacking of let's say sacking of the transfer of the chief innovation officer. Which INFI say because technology is very important in that country, the INFI say if you don't did it and maybe strengthen that department, people like you go down there for help strengthen and before you move. But I don't know what the strategy behind that is. The issues of culture, education, all these issues. You said all these things. Please have your response. What do you would think? Talk about all these things.
Okay, so first of all, governments they always get their own agenda. But Senga is very good, and he's not only good; he knows the job. He's able to do, And I don't observe since where he did it. He's building a very good community. Maybe it's an expansion of what he's doing. Maybe you can see that instead of saying that he has been removed from. Because I think the president in major goal is to get the young generation. And you say one thing where you get to understand is Senga don't build what we call a community, not just with the people that we do, but the general liking among the Sri Lankians that he's young and he's very intelligent and he has a global platform. People they don't go for Lekam. A lot of people can criticize him, but a lot of people, many more people than Lekam. So I think he wants to move that to the younger generation for capture this young man, because he'll be going to their schools, he'll be visiting them. Instead of the travel from state house to overseas, and that inspiration also will help the younger generation a lot. But if you talk about the role of the Director of Technology, I'm telling you, it's the most important ministry in Australia. Forget Ministry of Finance. What in technology could do, Ministry of Finance, there's no ministry very important to reach that particular GSTI. But also the human capital aspect of in moving down to the people and try for able for, ensure certainty, then concepts and then platforms they are already developed, interweave into the daily activity of some of these ministries. I think maybe that is the government's agenda. I don't know, because me, I'm going to talk with the president and I don't get access to them, so for no in mind. But if I see in that way, maybe he's saying that, look, if this guy can do this in the office, then he's going to the wider field and ensure say interwoven into the daily activities of some of these MDs.
Right.
So I think that is the move. Then if we come to the mobilization of goods, it's a very complex challenge. And we also don't answer that question there as a company. Africa, the roads in Africa, for that Africa able to move and intertrade between village to village, district to district, city to city, town to town, country to country, Africa need about minimum 24 million miles of roads. So, because the colonial people then build the roads and from the mines to the seaports, they don't interconnect the villages, they don't interconnect the districts. So now we therefore can build feeder roads and trunk roads. And so what we decided to do was to hack into that infrastructure gap. And so it's a combination of using both hardware, software, satellite, and space capability. And so we get that capability. So for instance, I'll give an example. So we get what we call the Abidjan Lagos trunk road. So let's say like a cocoa farmer, but there's a factory where they produce Bonvita, or let's say they produce chocolate at Nigeria. So I want to load in cocoa bean and bring them to Nigeria. You are going through very bad roads. So first of all, we get a technology where they harmonize the movement of goods across borders, in the sense that we get technology where to deploy at the border, where the bank will come, it will pass all the thing where it don't load from the side and loader. The manifest go don't reach at the checkpoints, the tax is supposed to pay, we don't pay that remotely even before they can. If receipts don't go, the receipts don't go to any National Revenue Authority of the Nigerian government, all the custom officials, they don't get a duplicate. So we get that technology. These are highly advanced technologies. So we get that.
So, Mr. Jar, I'll not cut you word, but very much what you just say, very interesting. And from me understanding, of course, because I know the impact of this sort of things on an economy, because I enjoy the facility with me there, for instance, like I know, and I hardly go to my bank. If I go to my bank pass I get cash, somebody don't give me cash, then I have to go and deposit. I don't go to my bank. Everything is automated. We know. So I enjoy that sort of liberty. I want to make bills, payments. I want to transfer money to you right now. I don't have to move. I want, even like I said right now, I want to eat. There's Uber Eats. There's Just Eat app. Even McDonald's now, simple McDonald's now. I don't need to go to McDonald's. I want taxi. So everything is automated and it's making our life. I don't want to say easy, or perhaps again maybe would become so lazy.
So it's bringing super convenience, and then
super convenience, exactly, which is what the customer needs. Now my question is, what are you doing in Nigeria? You are a prime of Sierra Leone, and you got all these solutions, and we, I believe, say, really expensive. So what do we need to do to ensure that, because that's part of it. But the next question I want to ask you is, how do we develop digital skills? Why not set those headquarters like you're doing now? Why Nigeria? Why be the SALONE and sort of try for give some of the services? Or are you already doing it in Australia that I don't know about, because we know sort of sense it?
No, it's a very dynamic situation. So what happened was, when we get these technologies, after I don't see all things and don't develop all things, now promote, and the first thing we had to do was, set up a team in Sierra Leone. And so we went to the local councils, because I knew we have to deal with the local councils. So the banks, the microfinance companies, they also will target local councils. So we go into a competition, and then we get the local councils. So when we get the local councils, we sign with them for collecting taxes and everything, and for bring all this technology to them. So the next move was the central bank. So currently, in fact, I don't know if they don't remove but Rina, a member of the fintech group, and also we sit on at the financial working group at the central bank. So then call me, I get the mail, then mail me officially and invite me to the digital financial working group at the central bank. So when we go to the central bank, and then the banks, they try for discourse, the telecommunication companies, and so now we already so you're there with the banks, the mobile money, and the telecommunication companies and NatCom. And so they realize, we actually get the technology, not for saying an idea. You know where you get idea. Let's say you explain something there. So you get an idea, but we hold the technology live one. So bring on the central bank. Say, no, this one not the idea again. Look at Kolo you say. So then galvanize, and I was a bit angry because they can't solve the problem, like if you're a Christian, you remember last time when Jesus vexed, he said, woe unto you lawyers. He said, you hold the key, you don't enter. and you don't allow people to get. So that was the kind of thing. So you see a country where they sink into debt. But because these people want these services, they don't have the technology. Then galvanize our central bank. Say, oh, this man not going to deploy this technology because he's not a bank. He needs to be a bank and blah blah blah. Now I say, look, me no can't begin to get waste time. Me a young man. So yeah, so I begin to move around, and so I find out in Nigeria I get more liberalized. In the whole of Africa, I think in Nigeria I get some of the most liberalized regulations. And so I don't need to see a minister for register me system. I just need a good partnership, the right person. That's the only difficult thing in Nigeria. You have to have the right person. You don't get the right person. So once you get the right person, the problem don't solve in Nigeria. Because you don't need not the minister they sign, not the bank governor they sign. They have agencies. Those agencies have enough power to. So you don't need to see all them people in there. You know, it might be that maybe you have one or two definitely interests in anything, but it's not as that difficult once you're able to do legal and corporate arrangements. And so that was why I moved from state in Nigeria, because I was moving. I went to Nairobi. The first day we land in Nairobi, they see everything we get. The people then, Liquid Telecom, Strive Mashiwa in company. Then kiss me. The lady tell me, say, Jironge, Catherine Jironge. He said, you mean you get this kind of technology? You don't have salon? What you did salon? So I go Liquid Telecom, then kiss me. I tell you, then give me non-disclosure immediately for sign. I get an email. All the thing there. So, but when I come, because my ticket have been the round trip between, Liberia, Kenya, Nigeria, Gambia, Senegal, for see the environment. Nigeria was very attractive because it's more liberal, very, very liberal here, but also a very tough environment if you not get the right person. So now that makes us stay in Nigeria.
Right. It's not this that a brother, one of the one we gets a product of that, and it's sort of encouraging you. And this is not perhaps this kind of thing that they discourage some people that know or even go, because like if you sort of set of people that they reject you with all this idea that they feel very threatening, then I don't know where we're going. So even with all these good ideas we get and way up the leaf, say we should even if some countries that they monopoly, they put you in a think tank. Let's put it that way. Or maybe even have a patent or part of it. Maybe invest in some of this infrastructure. So we go own them and start for. But it could be a whole set of income generating. Because if we develop you with technology, now SALONE they export from, we can export that same technology in all the other sub-regions. That's they bring money, inside we coffers. We go also help we for develop the young one they will want into technology and then maybe make sure say SALONE on them. But again, it's sad that this is the case. But I'm sure you're not giving up. I'm sure you still have plans and I'm sure that you will do your little and you will get assurance of getting later. Now let's go back to the area, because I know say we don't run against time and we enjoy the conversation so much. Perhaps we might have a second part to this. We will bring perhaps what we call, so we will three will come together and try to sort of share these things then. Now the question of training our youths, empowering them to some of the skills, the need for make sure that they use infrastructures, because the truth be told, and then of course for youth for actually cover Sierra Leone, that skill, you need some youths that we go use, and those people really train we end up for go to different countries or even they in that country. Because I know of Kenyans we did Kenya because of the digital skills. They don't even need for travel out of Kenya. They're working for big companies overseas because they're working on websites, they're working on apps, they're working just like Indians. So what can we do, or what can you do, or what plans have you got to train your youth or empower them into this sort of skills that we will need for make sure we facilitate some of this technology the way you get.
So make I just able for connect what we don't discuss to this one. So you see the reason why countries are poor, we call them low income countries like Sierra Leone, GDP per capita is about $500. You can, Nigeria is about maybe 800 or 900. You go Guinea is about 700. The reason is because the primary sector contributes less than sometimes 30%, 40% to the GDP. because the primary sector employs 70% of the population. So I'll give you an example. In our situation in Sierra Leone, we have 70% of the population is illiterate, and the primary sector employs 70% of that population in agriculture. And the only way for save them, for them and for leapfrog, now through technology. So where we they develop with technology, we develop what we call the digital economy infrastructure. So that infrastructure now a multi-sector infrastructure with anything they ride on, including education. So for instance, the microserver we will get, it gets a broadcasting software. Also, the partners that will get to then develop kits, the educational kits. So you actually get an educational content inside. But at least you don't one place and teach all the beginning at SALONE. The same, they all receive the same once we fix them at each school. And because in mobile, you can pack in a bag, can't go to the school. The whole day way school over, you pack in a bag, somebody look at it. So it's that highly advanced yet affordable.
Yeah.
Very, very affordable. So in fact, when we start in those days in Australia, we take all of these products and go to the banks for do risk analysis. The first thing with the bank they approve been the educational system we will get. And say that one day then go even give loans to all the schools and because they know see the people then go let them and then they able for use them for education. So that platform they do what we call digital literacy. So it gives anybody the opportunity for able for learn digital skills. And these are skills you don't need for go you just need for maybe able for read and write sometimes. Sometimes you just need for numbers. So some of the technology they will get then so advanced that you need to do all the work. I just know what you press. From the back end, the aggregation, everything is done. So now that kind of thing. So it's not really difficult for people to adopt it as in terms of culture, adventure. And also because we are naturally inclined to know, so we are curious. So once you get something very beautiful, aesthetic, you give somebody iPhone because of the aesthetic, they begin press up.
So all of these the navigating way through, sure.
So it's human-centered design. So all of these things very easy for people to adopt them and then begin for learn and then grow. So you see, so the education side, we in fact in Nigeria we try for develop what we call. So in Nigeria actually the Universities Commission tap into for so many programs where we don't sign some of them. And so one of the things that we try for do is we get an entire pipeline in terms of education development. So from bringing content to schools and connecting all schools to also what we call quality education. Quality education, they encourage what they call spatial learning. So you can't really do quality education without spatial learning. So for instance, in those days when we go to school, they do geography and then they tell you about the Pampana River. So what we do is we go with one of the largest satellite companies in the world, Planet. So Planet give me 10,000 square kilometers. That's 1/10. Sierra Leone 72,000 square kilometers. Then give me 10,000 square kilometer of image where they give opportunity for see anything. So if you put at a school, the school they learn about Pampana River, we they able to get the live video
of Pampana River.
Bring them into the microserver because you get cloud content catching capability, and the people they're able to get them through the kits that they hand because of the synchronizing, so it is synchronized. So even with quality education, so we get that capability. And you explain these things to people like in Sierra Leone, and then get a different way where they view. They know you have it. So, but I'll make that point. So I just try to say it's possible. We are not thinking about the technology. We already have the technology. Have the potential. We already have the capacity. If they're adopter, if they're willing for adopter, we are able to transfer them to them. In fact, when we write Planet, now an academic and research facility they use for students and universities. So I'll give an example, for instance, how that can work. So you see the mall here. Let's say ShopRite, for instance. So the one for build a student they do market research. So for ShopRite. So the one for build something that ShopRite for tell and say, a need for know the traffic, the human traffic for life for build me more. Those people come.
Sure.
So we can use satellite data and be able to tell you say the human traffic and vehicular traffic. Now this particular location, now this amount, and now this can carry the move. These are highly advanced technologies.
Yeah,
we already get. And so it makes it interesting that I do marketing at university. When I do marketing, I already get a tool where they play with.
So you don't even need it. It saves you time and money, basically. It saves you time and money. Yeah.
If you take it to the private sector, they already pick them up.
Yeah.
And then you already don't get the job.
Yeah.
So these are some of the things where we design. You know, I tell you, say 5 years. 5 years, not to 5 days. As for one place for 5 years, they try to develop all of them here. And so all of these things are available. So now, what do you do?
Right. I think really we just have to. It's amazing that's what you're doing. I must say I put my heart down for you and up for you and doing amazing things. And I hope say we will wake up to this reality. If we get one of your own, we need to promote them and not let you go and maybe provide the services. And now things like the free education we talk about, and most of these like I give you an example. Today I go lecture. And some students did not come lecture, but they were able to see the lecture from the comfort of their home, and then so they don't necessarily need for be not the classroom for sort of interact, and they just log into their portal and see me the present live. So they're not missing anything, say for some reason because there's no one come actively. So you have all this technology, you can make that happen. And the good thing is you're making it happen without even in the villages them. Somebody go land in the villages them and without generator, because these are some of the challenges that we face. Some of the excuses
solar they use, and we do with solar test in SALONE during the rainy season. So we don't do it in August.
Yeah.
And we test the solar quality.
And it was working.
Yes, 12 hours of power at 600 watt hours.
Can you imagine? That's amazing. I think Mr. Chow, so we need to bring you back because the issues are so much. If I had a question, and I will go through all the questions because of the kind of things that we already discussed. But we need to look some of the questions the way people that don't ask because we need for respect to your audience. There are some people who already know. So I will ask the technical team for bring up the questions before. So we'll read them and maybe you respond to them before you leave. But it's amazing that what you're doing, and I don't want to discourage. Is our country, the one country we get. And I'm supposed to you have today, and some of this technology you're talking about, we want to see them appear live on our villages. I want to see Jova boy in the village learning about whatever thing, blockchain, learning about Internet of Things and so on. All right, let's look at my mom. My mom is always saying good evening, mommy. Good evening. How are you? Then Rashid Charles Guawi say good evening, viewers. Good evening, Dick Victor's great job. Ibrahim Sorisi say. What is the value proposition in exchange for acquiring customers and long-term retention? So what is the value proposition of acquiring? So we acquire customers and also for the long term, how you will retain them basically because acquiring and retaining. So perhaps, I don't know if you want to answer that question, then we'll move on. So what is the value?
If you want, I can answer. So it's a very, so if we get what we call customer connect. Right. So customer connect, now the value proposition we get is a software where as you buy on the platform, let's say that platform is working right now. And so they take your data, and then when you take your data, they give you a loyalty card. That loyalty card, they give you a lot of preferences. 2 incentives are better than 1. So I'm a marketer. So financial incentive and intrinsic incentive. So if they can't buy to me because you really need something, it's one thing. If you can't buy because you need something, but also when you buy, you get reward. So it's better than 1. So we get a platform where they do that for retaining the customer. And so, but also, we also we platforms and also get a third-party interactive ability. So for instance, you can't buy in a shop, but you are an accountant. And so I can tell you, say, okay, you can't buy them in a shop, but look, we platform the able to advertise for you for let you get a job as an accountant if you know
right.
Or for let put the access. So these are highly advanced technologies and way we get. We
Right.
not only they provide service, they also they bring you to the platform and sell you as well and sell what you do. So that
Right.
retention in terms of giving you multiple incentives. So we get that.
Wow, so you basically get technology for everything, for every. So you have solution to every problem, tech solutions
Yeah,
to every
for
problem.
every problem, virtually for
This
every
this
problem.
is this is this is amazing. I think viewers going to hire you and for perhaps to know exactly which are the audience they come on, like when they tap into people's mind and say exactly what people they think about we and stuff like that. So we want to know how happy they are or so we going to hire you for the development technology for that, right? And and also the peak time when we need for sure. But let me just continue with the messages. Them say Abraham Service says watching the same gentleman say watching and listening with keen interest. I have deep passion in the topic. Thanks, Mr. Jar and Dr. Bese for hosting. And welcome, Med, Tyro, join us, Alim, Maki, Conte also join me, and of course Jonathan is it Kelly also join me, and okay, and also Ibrahim Suri says the personnel culture is key in delivering consumer-based content. I'm building an avid audience of following Dr. Senge embodies that personality, and I would like him to construct a digital ecosystems that will drive structural performance in every department. So basically, that's just a suggestion I try to do. So you say I tried to set up a digital marketing hub in Sierra Leone, and I hit a snag, and I had to follow. A lot of people, basically, Mr. Jar, I will tell you this. I've spoken to a lot of people because me, they're in the area of business. So as a result of that, people they can talk to me, especially somebody who want to open a business back home. Someone said don't try before, but I mean, in the system, not be. I mean, the system was set up to make that fail. So man don't take in money, don't go invest time for some reason. They discourage them and they have to laugh at the person again. So it's same thing with that. So that's something has happened. So sort of give an advice. What do you do in that instance? You have this passion, you have this goal, you have this opportunity, you want to give back to your country, but they discourage you. In your case, for instance, what do you do?
So I've done to do business in Sierra Leone for almost like 18 years. And so there is a fundamental challenge that Sierra Leone originally was not set up as a business country. It was set up as an administrative country. And so it took a very long time for cultural shift. And that happened even because of the war. People have become difficult for them to get salary and anything. And so someone begin to do business. Other than you get the northern parts where the people in the business, but Sierra Leone was actually an administrative country, so people are not receptive to business. So tenacity, you get for able for get long term. So I tell people, don't do a deal. Don't do a deal. You get somebody in our office, they tell you can't do business. I remember they tell anywhere to go to school, you must do accounting because you're going to bank governor. So I mean, we don't say you need job. I said, no, me, I want to develop my talent. So I'm not be alive or not alive. Yeah, it's difficult sometimes with parents when you tell them. So that's how you develop your business. You develop your business, writing a business plan, thinking about the business we will be for the next 50, 100 years, even when you know the day. So you are not doing it because somebody in one position will need you. The second tomorrow you fold up. So majority of the businesses in Sierra Leone are deal. Nobody is really building an institution.
Yeah.
So in essence, as Sierra we have to learn to build business as an institution where you get for handover to the next generation. Yeah. If you don't do that, any challenge you can just fold up because shock now part of business. That's the truth.
Yeah.
And doctor, shock is part. So you just tell and say you just get the first shock. I mean, we encourage.
They listen to you. Of course, he's watching live. He's listening to you.
I hate. I like boxing.
Yeah.
Boxing, you go first round, you coach what?
That's precisely. So the message there, thank you, Mr. Abraham. The message there, thank you, Mr. Jar, sorry. Mr. Abraham, the message there is that don't give up. And of course, you have to have a long-term plan. You're in this for a long time because there will be a shock. You will fail. Of course, this is what will happen to you. But if you really, really want to do what's in, you set up for do, trust me, nobody will go stop you. It's like the ant philosophy. Like I always call it the ant philosophy. You never ever stop ant. we Anchuma go inside and let's stop by the go, okay, what's you kill out. So that sort of mentality is what you have to develop. All right, let's continue to read the messages and we'll try to round up now. Ibrahim's the same Ibrahim's outsourcing is the answer. That's where S and S comes handy to capture human traffic for data collection and analysis. So, Mr. Ibrahim Surisi says, like you have a lot of energy to share, no, a lot of knowledge, sorry, to share. So, you're not one of the best in the world will bring on this program, so we can share. And so people will learn from you as well. Because thank you again for watching and your contribution. So just that's a good idea, Mr. J, Mr. Ja. Is it my Juliana Sam is my sister, brother. Ibrahim Surisi says customer relationship management CRM can be valuable in growth marketing. So I think Ibrahim is more of a marketer. But I would just want us to end this show by you giving us, telling us exactly what next, what's your plan for Sierra Leone next, and with all these challenges, with all these hurdles, talk about your plans going forward for Sierra Leone. And the next step is we will look at some of the advice that we will leave for resources. If somebody they will get business right now, they want to reach you for develop a solution around maybe how for retaining customer and acquiring customer. Or perhaps in my case, for example, you say, what I want to do, I want to develop a platform where I go to develop business plans for people, because that's what I do on the web. I want to automate, have templates, and so that people can see real life all these some of services that we offer. And so how can people reach you, and what will the cost entail? Perhaps is customized cost, but just touch on it. So those two things I want to touch on, that will go around the show. Thank you, sir.
Okay, so for Sierra Leone, I guess two approach we had. One is the approach that being an Australian and trying to lead there. We get then technologies there. So the good thing is some of these technologies, some of it we are part of the development. We are co-creators in some of the programs that we develop because we got them very early and way before. Some of them we get them way within the company where they develop the technology there. So we look for what we call the common good for the country, but also synergy, the ability for all to come together for work. Because we not really want to compete with local companies. We want transfer. Yeah. This is the message that is hard to sell, that we want to transfer this technology to you so that you can use it. Banks will use it, businesses will use it, and it is an open source platform where millions of ideas can be developed, billions of ideas, different ideas can be developed. So you don't really need to be a threat to anybody. So that understanding how only people and get the platforms that we will get, multi-sector technology, and Sierra Leone get a lot of untapped potential in some of these sectors. That you don't need to fight anybody, you don't need to block anybody, or you don't need to become an obstacle to anybody, other than except you know one the country go before. So that's one. On the side of those who are doing business, I think they have a lot of opportunities for do business because a lot of untapped areas indeed. One of the things that I would advise them where I learned very early in Israel is when you want to do business, not go to minister, not go to, not begin big. And that's how you try for talk. Those days go the first thing is one can go to investor for let's see the minister. Now let the business can die.
Yeah.
It might not be saying that the minister really lying at the cause, but the environment so and dynamic that sometimes you need able for so just go to corporate affairs. Pay you 200,000 at that time. Maybe I don't know if you don't go up now and register your business and begin like host. I start business and host. I don't go rent office. I start on host. Begin like host. Small corner. Put your chair. Put your table, and then begin to plan your business. Plan the business very well. If you not plan up any shock, any challenge, you will see. And so plan them very well and ensure be very sincere to yourself in the difficulties we are ahead, because business is not all about cashing up.
Yeah.
So like that. Then somebody what they thinking about for access me, I think a very good contact person. So other than that, me email. Because of security reasons right now, so I'm not really using number and anything. So so yeah, once I see them and then I can able to get them. But if anybody want to reach me, and then they can just send an email to you, not for my number, just my email, and then I can if they ask for an email, I can
no problems.
But also, what we need to do in Sierra Leone, even you, doctor. Yeah, I mean, some of the things that we do right now are so amazing. I see the entrepreneurship boot camp. These are things that government need to come around. I think what is happening is government needs to open up, because government is just 20% of the entire country in activity. In essence,
if not even less.
The projection government is in about 800 million, the entire country about 4.5 billion. So, 80% of the country in economy they in the hand of the private sector. So government should have a private sector approach.
Yeah.
If government in the drive everything, it will be difficult for the country to move forward.
Yeah.
But if private sector the drive regulated by government, that is very good. So we need a political engagement and solidarity between government and the private sector.
Yeah.
I think that's the biggest challenge that we're going to have.
Yeah.
Once that don't happen, then the government they begin to create vehicles where they ensure that the private sector lead in economic development. So I think that I don't know.
Yeah, but it's been really good. Everything you've said, I'm in agreement with. Of course, as always, me not sort of doubt you at all, because I know you from where we go school, and it's amazing what you achieve, and the fact that even with that, with all the setbacks, you're still trying to give back to your nation is really good. But one of the things that I want to take off, especially with these people the way we don't set business in a salon without fail, is that we need to stop competing against ourselves. Let's stop this competition among ourselves, really, because we need to cooperate, work together. There's a lot of oxygen although we all breathe in. That poverty mentality, the way anybody we are no caster. Because sometimes, honestly, we need for cast down, we need for bind down. The devil is the poverty mentality. Because when somebody like David come with sort of so much resources, is not coming to take your job away. It's saying, let me give this sort of product so we all go survive and enjoy it. Because the truth is, if we cooperate, there'll be so much to share, so much that nobody know where they complain about. I mean, whether you are hungry, but because we try to compete, because we say everything about life is about competition, not cooperation. I make good deals with it today. Now, so that's why we see fellow Sierra Leoneans on any side, they do something, even if you don't get nothing, encourage them. The words you say to them, the likes, the Facebook likes that you say to them, the encouragement. If somebody weak in certain area, you rather give them your strength hand and help that person they come out of them. I think this is one of the things that we need for really do in our country today. I know it takes time because it looks like maybe the slavery we go Africa sort of implant in we some of this poverty mentality where they stop me from thinking that we have to work together. We have to synergize. So cooperation, not competition. Create, don't compete. I think some of the things are what I get from Mr. Jah tonight. And well, thank you very much for coming, Mr. Jah. I don't know if you get any other thing we want to talk about them before I close this program. Maybe you just want to start our goodbye. I'll let you.
I just want Sierra Leoneans for appreciate what you do and promote what you do, because you are doing a very great job. You are doing a very massive job in bringing certain things to the knowledge of so many people. And so they're supposed to give you the platform. They're supposed to give you the opportunity for reach more Sierra Leoneans. You're highly educated, you're highly connected, you don't transit all the barriers that you can transit for there at a platform now. With government for adopt you and say, a tool now we hand. And so I appeal to the government, let them able to adopt you as a tool. So that
well, this is marketing 101 on live. Of course, everybody wants that country, but
listen, doctor, now we all go to school together. Yeah, but now you the lecture, you teach and you lecture, and you don't do all of this. Let them give you the ability for sell the country. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, that's fine. Fair enough. Of course, we know we say no to good solutions. I've learned to take compliments. People mean good, but of course, that's where we will stop the program tonight. But by the way, we stop the program there. But it's been a plum. Yeah, thanks to you all for listening. And we're not really be cautious with it. We want to thank you for support the program. We want to thank you for the love. We want to thank you for everything we want to do. We want for the prayers. Look, keep promoting wisdom, because trust me, that's the only way we will make we all salon better. Because what I see two salon man they argue, all I see is two people try to make salon better, but in a different methodology. that's all I see. People so passionate about salon. You want to see arguments. It's just that we all get different views of points. So, but if we just learn to respect other people, their viewpoints, sometimes again, it will make your life more better. But thank you. On this note, I want to say good night. I will see you next weekend. God bless you. Good night.
You can be my brother. You can be my friend. Have you been looking for a place to get quality education but don't know how or where? Canadian College of Modern Technology, situated at 1 Silicon Hills, Mile 91, opposite former Camp Charlie, is the right place for you. Canadian College of Modern Technology, an affiliate of Jala University, is a fully accredited college with a Tertiary Education Commission (TEC) and a National Commission for Technical, Vocational and Other Academic Awards (NCTVA). We provide world-class tertiary education in computer science, business administration, mass communication, business information technology, Microsoft Server Administration, networking, database administration, building and construction, and other professional courses. Apart from its conducive environment, which makes it suitable for learning, Canadian College of Modern Technology is proud of its experienced local and international staffs. Come and experience a transformational learning environment, fully equipped with CCTV cameras, a world-class electronic library with the latest iMac computers for collaborative learning and research, and access to high-speed internet service throughout the campus. And guess what? Canadian College of Modern Technology is the first college in Sierra Leone to operate the first educational purpose-only television and radio station for its mass communication students. Come and be part of this historic experience. We have reserved a space for you. You want to know more? CCMC provides 24 hours electricity from a solar harvest power supply system with a backup generator. This highly secure campus also have a canteen, student hostels with clean pipe-borne water. Canadian College offers many more amenities for our students to help make learning a good experience. For more information, contact us on these numbers: 079 630 407 or 099 140 208. If you want to succeed, Canadian College will exceed your expectations. Canadian College of Modern Technology, a place where career begins.
Cotton Tree Pharmacy is your new trusted provider of pharmacy services in Sierra Leone. You can count on Cotton Tree Pharmacy for genuine quality brand name and generic medicines. Guaranteed refills for prescriptions issued by doctors in Sierra Leone or abroad. Door-to-door medication delivery service in Freetown and beyond. Free health education. Have you heard about our Diaspora Medicine Connect? With Cotton Tree Pharmacy's Diaspora Medicine Connect, anyone can pay for your prescription online. Bring your prescription to 17 Pademba Road. Collect an invoice. Send your invoice to your sponsor in the diaspora. Your sponsor pays for your prescription online. We deliver your medication to you. For quality prescription and medications, visit Cotton Tree Pharmacy at 17 Pademba Road in Freetown. Have questions? Call our pharmacist on WhatsApp at 030-611-664 or visit our website at www.cottontreemedicalgroup.com. Come to Cotton Tree Pharmacy. We are ready to fill your next prescription.